Come waste your time with us.
Okay. I have shared something deeply personal and quite embarrassing with the people, which I understand that a lot of my audio was cutting out that night. So if people would like me to, I could reiterate the story at a later date. But as of right now,
yeah, it's essentially Joe sitting on a craft bag and getting a crochet hook stuck into his ass cheek. Yes, that is in a previous podcast. Go give it a listen. It is hilarious.
yes.
Yeah, so embarrassing moments. Yeah, mine was in high school. It was my freshman year. So first year in high school, that just set the stage for my high school career. It didn't actually, but I was in marching band in high school, and we were marching up and down the parking lot, just practicing over the summer previous to, or no, it was my sophomore year, actually, now I think about it. Anyways, not important. We were marching up and down the parking lot. Yes. And when you come to a halt in marching band, your feet come together. And he called us to a halt, and we stopped, and my pants hit the floor. So I'm standing in front of half the band, just in my underwear, my pants around my ankles, and I can't move. I have everybody behind me is just cracking up and snickering, and he called us to rest, and I could pull my pants up. Yeah, that that was rough, and that is definitely my most embarrassing story.
Nice.
God.
It's kind of hard to march with your pants around your ankles.
Yeah. I say I would not have been able to have kept marching if that would have happened. I mean, I'm kind of proud of myself, because when you come to a halt, you're supposed to stop and just be still. I could have just instantly bent down and pulled my pants up, but I fucking stood strong and just owned it. Like, I mean, what else can he do at that point? The damage is done.
Sit there with this super dignified look on your face.
But yeah, but what John's not telling everybody is he got laid by the whole cheerleader team after this. But you got a tube in your pants, boy?
Nope, that's my trombone.
My God.
No, John's more of a flute guy. Or a piccolo.
I hear it flares out at the end, so it looks a little more like an oboe. Or a clarinet.
You put the horn on it?
They call him Kenny G Spot.
You gotta put the Amisher in your mouth to get it wet before you can play it.
The what? The Amisher?
The Amisher,
is that what it's really called?
The mouthpiece.
The Amisher?
Amisher, yes. Oh, you ruined the joke, Joe. No, that was good.
I'm sorry. That's I didn't realize.
Fascinated.
He's like, Amisher? What? Like, I knew you were learning Japanese, John, but damn. That is not Japanese. That is what it's called.
Yeah, right. Now, the Amisher sounds like some weird serial killer that turns people into...
Rides it on a wagon.
I mean,
slits your throat and then covers it up with a fucking chin beard.
It's like if you're asking somebody if they're Amish, you say, I mean, are you Amish or not?
I'm sure you're Amish.
Yeah. Like, he's somebody that goes and disconnects people's power. just steals all the technology in there.
Leaves a Pentecostal dress out front. Cover your ankles, you whore.
I've been robbed by the Amish. Oh no. That was my horrible attempt at a Scottish accent. Yeah.
His real name is Ezekiel.
Ezekiel the Amisher.
I'm sorry I stepped all over your joke.
Oh, no, you're good. It went into something beautiful. It's all good.
I've just never heard the Amisher. It's just such a weird word to me. I don't hate it, but it incites laughter. I'm gonna go to work tomorrow and be like, dudes, did you know what this thing was called?
Educating people, and they're gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I did actually."
I
You're not
I
even
mean,
gonna
that
be
doesn't-
mad. You're just gonna be like, "Isn't it funny?"
I'm gonna be kind of shocked that it's common knowledge. Like, I'll be shocked if I'm the only person in the world that didn't know that it was called an Amisher. Like, I've said it so many times, the word has lost meaning now. Amisher.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like something. Are you sure? I'm sure.
You're like a
It's like-
mafia, like a gangster from New York or something. I'm sure.
It's me, Mario. Are you sure? I'm sure.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Italian people. My Italian accent's not very good.
English Italian. Yeah. That's amazing.
Okay.
Right. So Travis.
Yeah, Travis, what's that embarrassing moment?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say like I've had an embarrassing moment because I kind of, whenever I do, I kind of own it. So I got two stories. One that I just straight up owned, and then the other that I was in the 8th grade, so therefore I didn't know what to do.
Mm.
But let's do the one that I owned first. So there I was, sitting in full military battle rattle. We had to do the simple task of putting your rifle onto a plastic barrier and hopping the barrier. But it's a little difficult because you're wearing like 100 pounds worth of gear.
Mhm.
So when I get into soldier mode, I go full retard. I don't know what it is, but like if you put me as point man, I'm fuck all procedures. I'm just running straight into the building. I don't know why I do it, but I do it.
Yeah.
Sounds
So-
like what I would do.
Right. So I run up and I roadie run the whole time thinking I was going to get some extra cool points, but it just made me more tired because it was like 100 yards up to this barrier. I put my rifle against it as I'm jumping in the air. I didn't stop, do 3 points contact over it. I throw my rifle down at the barrier, jump over it, completely miss the jump, catch the barrier as I'm going over, and scorpion like a good 2 feet across the floor. And I stand up and I'm like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
That's a total hold my beer moment.
Right.
But
Hold my canteen.
before I started acting like this, it was 8th grade wrestling, and my buddy had this great idea. He always had this great idea, like if he didn't want to go into a wrestling tournament or wrestling tournament, he would here, dude, let's eat these laxatives and then we'll just shit our guts out all day kind of guy. And he's like, all right, I got this body spray that's gonna make us win every match. And I was like, what is it, like stink or something? He's like, no, we're using chemical warfare, dude. I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
Oh no.
He pulls out this bod, the old little bod canisters.
Yeah.
He had stuck a 9-volt in it for a week and let the battery acid sit.
Oh
Oh,
my
geez.
god.
So we spray it all over ourselves, and he's like, "No, it's gonna kind of sting, but as soon as we start sweating, it'll come out of our pores onto our opponent."
Oh no.
We're wrestling. Just getting into my eyes, getting into the other dude's eyes, all over the mat. We look like we got 2nd-degree burns. They had to like shut it down for a little bit, mop up everything. They thought I was secreting some kind of toxin.
Don't wrestle that kid. He's got herpes.
That's amazing.
My buddy was laughing the whole time because he never sprayed down himself.
Oh, that's messed up, dude. So he talked you into it, and then you went down, and he just stood there. That's messed up.
Yep.
Way to go, bud. Wow, that's a good.
Yeah, that's pretty gold. Damn.
Funny.
Yikes.
So I had another embarrassing moment in mind, but that one's too good. Okay, I kind of owned this. It was embarrassing at the time, but retrospectively, it's definitely way more embarrassing than I realized it was. Back in our younger years, John and I used to do the musician thing, and he was in a band. I wanted to be in the band because I have a band, and I've always wanted to be a singer / screamer. And their singer had just left the band, but they had a show scheduled. So I came in and filled in. No lyrics to the song. No knowledge of the tempos, timing changes, any of that stuff.
Oof, yeah.
I had one practice session with these guys.
I forgot
And
about this.
I went and I performed the show, but I owned it. But I am so glad we did not videotape it because I don't want to. I would so cringe because I know it was terrible.
Yeah, that's funny. I forgot all about that. I don't remember how well it went down or how well it was received, but yeah, I could imagine.
Because I was up there with like little scribblings of lyrics that I had on different pieces of paper, and I was just winging it the whole time, like freestyling shit, screaming nonsense. Like it was bad. I try to not think about that. To be honest.
Yeah, that's one of those, like, that's the member that you probably least likely want to be if you're going to fill in and not really have any prior knowledge beforehand.
At least if you're like filling in on bass or something, you can turn it all the way down. You were playing along, you know. You're like, dude, that guy has killer stage presence. Like, oh, so he's a good bass player? I don't know. He was moving a lot.
Couldn't hear any of the notes he was playing, but man, he was throwing down. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's making love to that bass. Yeah. Like even with the drums, you can accidentally get on beat, you know, like but vocally, even playing screaming metal, it's hard to just kind of, you know, wing that and it still be ownable.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, also, in the same vein, another band that I was in did a cover of "Eye of the Tiger," and I completely forgot the verse when we went into the song at a show. Yeah, so I just kind of mumbled. I mumbled through the first verse. The rest of the song sounded great. I was back on track, but I mumbled through the first.
Pulled a Pearl Jam.
Yeah. Oh, here's some pieces here. It's the tiger.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly how that went down.
I guess I need to throw out a second one here too.
Yeah.
And then we will end the session. So I remember as another high school story. Actually, I think this one's middle school. But we were all in the theater watching a movie or something, and I remember getting up out of my seat, and of course, everyone's been to a theater, which is everyone. You get up, you kind of have to walk sideways, you know, to get past everybody. Everybody's pulling their legs in. I was walking by this girl, and I tripped on her foot
and fell into her vagina.
I was facing everybody when I was going through, and I almost fell into her vagina. I started to fall, and I'm trying to get my footing, but her feet are still there too, so I don't know where to place my feet, and I keep stepping on her feet, and my arms are waving and just thrashing and flailing around because I'm trying to catch my balance and not fall on her. And this goes on for longer than it should have, and I'm just beet red, instantly sweating, and she's looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And after this goes on for a certain amount of time, I just was like, there's nothing else I can do. I've already made myself look like an idiot. So I planted my hands on the back of her chair next to her head, and I stared her dead in the face, all serious. And then I stood up and walked away after that.
You should ask for a number. That's baller.
that was super embarrassing. I mean, it was middle school. Like, I was young. Oh,
That's future wife shit. Like,
that is such a better story than the pant one.
I very distinctly remember trying to get my footing, and I couldn't because her feet were there. I'm just stepping on them, and my arms are flailing. I was like, "Oh my god, I can only imagine what I look like right now." Like,
so you look like you're trying to fight her or something.
Right? Like, what's up? Come on, bro. What's the matter with you tripping me? I don't care, a girl or not. We in middle school. I could hit a girl because that's what kids do when they're our age. Like, oh, it was ridiculous. It was so embarrassing.
You could have been like, "That's hi, pretty girl." Everything would have been exonerated.
Just place my hands on the back of the backrest there beside her head, like, "What's up, girl? I meant to do all of it. How you doing?"
So what's up with that number?
All right, yeah.
I actually had a very something similar happen to me one time. When we were in high school, there was the beginnings of a local music. A couple different places in town started putting on like local band shows from surrounding counties, bands from a couple towns over, and they used to hold these shows almost every Friday. Sometimes it'd be every other Friday or whatever, but there was one time really good punk band was playing, and jumped in the mosh pit. It got a little bit wild. I got a little bit dizzy. I got thrown, like knocked to a direction. I couldn't see where I was going, so I put my hands out in front of me to stop me, and I totally landed right on a girl's boobs.
Nice.
She was rather chesty too. Like these were some big cushiony boobs, and they landed perfect, like one hand on each boob. And like I was kind of disoriented. Like I said, I was in a pretty wild mosh pit getting thrown around, and she was standing really close to the mosh pit. So yeah, I got thrown and hands landed on her boobs, and I just stopped for a second, hands still on her boobs. I looked down at my hands, then looked up at her and was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And then I jerked my hands away and, like held my hands up like I was being held at gunpoint or something. I was like, "I am so sorry. Oh my God." And then she was like, "It's okay." And I was like, "Okay." And then I jumped back into the mosh pit.
Should have put it back on. Like, okay.
Well, my girlfriend was there at the time too. So I, wasn't able to do that. And thankfully she wasn't standing there and saw it, because she was the type of girlfriend that would have been like, "You did that on purpose." It's like, yes, I jumped in the mosh pit and rode it gracefully to the point where I could fling myself at her breast. Like,
I had a plan the whole time. Yeah.
Yes, I am a boob grabbing mastermind, and you've caught me.
Congratulations, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, so never saw that girl again either.
That's funny. Those are those instances, like, all the embarrassing moments that happen in your life. It's just like the timing and the way that things happen, you're just like, why, the whole time in your head, why is this happening?
Yeah.
uh,
I hope nobody else saw this. Please don't talk about it.
right, yeah. Fortunately, both of my stories happened in front of all kinds of people, so
I
worst
wish I
case
could have
scenario.
I wish I could have seen the last one, dude. I'm just picturing it in my head.
Little cartoon-esque.
Yeah. Oh, it's so awkward.
I'm almost picturing like somebody slipping on ice and trying to stay vertical, as trying everything they can to not fall.
Yeah.
Just picturing you doing that right in front.
You're leaning forward. Because if you got the chair back behind you from the row in front of you, I guess, which would be behind me because I was facing backwards. And then like her knees and my knees and feet, and I can't put my hands anywhere to stop myself because they're just gonna end up on her where they don't need to be. Yeah, it's so many things go through your head at one time, and I handled it about as well as any middle school boy would have, I guess.
And like middle school is probably the most awkward school phase.
Middle
like,
school is
high
awkward.
school.
Yeah, high school just is horrible and terrible all around. But yeah, middle school is just awkward.
That's the most awkward time. You're getting all these hormones that you're that weird in between age kid, but not quite a teenager. And yeah, I hated my middle school years. They were very awkward. High school, not so much. I mean, high school I hated it, but it actually
wasn't terrible. No.
Yeah, it just kind of was. It wasn't anything great or anything. It was.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, middle school, fuck that. fuck middle school. Like, I remember entering middle school and they're like, "Yeah, we got gym class. This is cool, but you got to take showers." Whoa.
Right. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm not showering at school. I'm not showering with a bunch of other. Like, I'm not cool with that.
I own that. Yeah, like I knew that was coming. I knew that was gonna be a thing, and it's just like, well, you got to do what you got to do.
I did it, but I did not enjoy it. And then after a while, it's like, nope, not doing anything in gym. Right. Don't sweat. Don't sweat. Don't got to shower. So, yep, I'm sitting this one out, coach.
All right.
Have a good one. I think funny. That's. Do they still do that? I thought I heard like they were getting rid of the shower in school.
I never did. I never did middle school or high school.
Oh, yeah, like so they must have gotten rid of that then.
Well, we had that Coach Cruz incident, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
I would say I know like you have the option if you.
Yeah.
I don't think any kids really.
Yeah, but they give you like 2 minutes. Who the fuck's gonna take a shower in 2 minutes?
I know, man. I can't even find a good song on Spotify to play
in 2 minutes.
Shower, and like I gotta sing, like how am I supposed to shower at school? Like I can't get. There's no good acoustics in a school bathroom. Like you sound too echoey. Like,
that's why you make it as ridiculous as possible at that point. I mean,
like I would go back and be the kid that wants to sing in the shower and brings his rubber ducky with him and like what? This is how I bathe at home.
Yeah. That's too good. Well, I think we'll end it there. Good embarrassing moments for everybody to laugh at.
Yeah.
Yeah. For more embarrassing moments, tune into us into the future. Go ahead and just travel there now.
And then let us know how that goes so that we can be prepared. Yeah.
And then come back and tell us how it went so we rewrite accordingly.
Was it good?
Did you like it?
Did you like it?
Was it good for you? How are me and Cammy doing in the future?
Oh God. Anywho, tune in next time, guys. We will see you all later. Ciao.
Bye.